Alrighty, so we're going to be like you said, like you can see here. We've got a 1, a 2, 3, 4, 5 for the shading. Now again, to start doing the whole drawing a balanced circle, you make a plus sign. Now when you do this, all of these lines are going to have to be erased. All the lines will be erased, so it's important to press super lightly as you're doing this. I can erase this easily because I'm using a computer, so you don't completely demolish your eraser. Probably draw this really lightly. Now the next step I want to do is make some lines that are the same distance away from the center, and I showed you how to use your pencil to measure to make sure these lines are all the same distance. That looks kind of bad, so I'm going to bring this over a little bit maybe. Whoa! Now if you do this incorrectly, it's all right it's easy to fix. But you'll notice if you do it incorrectly, because your circle will look kind of like a football. So I'm going to go through, curve these around. You don't want to try to make your circle all at once. You want to do each section individually until you build your circle. Now I can tell right here, if I was going to do a pizza, this line or this half circle-y, slice right there is way smaller. So what I have to do is, let's see, this is kind of far out. Actually, I would say this one is really big and not like square, so I'm going to bring this down. Let's see. There we go. All right, that fixed it. All right, so once you have a pretty okay circle, you're going to erase all these construction lines, so you're left with kind of a circle. Again, if it looks kind of like a football or a potato, you just need to adjust where those marks were. It doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, I'm going to switch over to pencil here just because it'll look more like what you're using. There we go. All right, so I'm going to start with the darkest area, which is going to be the shadow. So I make this kind of curved, like I said, it's like a Nike swoosh, I guess. Yeah, it's like a Nike swoosh. And then I'm going to fill that in. If you are doing cross-hatching, just make sure each line is individual. If you're doing blending, use the side of your pencil lead. Don't smudge it with your finger. And you're just going to blend that, and you want that to be as dark as you can make it, without using like smashing your pencil into it. If you want to make it dark, just spend some time going back and forth to make it darker. All right, next step, we'll do the 3 area right here. So we just took care of that. We're doing the 3 area, so that's the next darkest area. Now that's going to look, again, like a crescent moon or smiley face. Continue, at least it wasn't a fire drill. Okay, so I've made a smiley face, kind of banana shaped line, and I'm going to make this not as dark as my cast shadow, but dark. Now we're going to blend this out eventually, so you don't have to go really, really dark with this. It's way better to start out light and add more dark than to make this dark and then have to do a ton of erasing. All right, so I've got kind of that banana shape going. Kind of looks like a Pokemon ball. All right, I think. I don't know. So now I'm going to work on the 4 area. I'll switch to the red. There we go. 4 area, which you can see is lighter than the 3. So I'll basically fill this in. It's not going to be as dark as the shadow. That's the light that's bouncing. The light's coming this way. It bounces off and lightens it. Bounces off, lightens it up. So it's lighter. All right. Now the 2 area we can work on, because that's the next lightest, is not a lot. You don't want to spend a lot of time here. But make sure you go all the way around that area. You can see in the example where there's a 1. go around that. So there should be kind of a circle-y shape where there's nothing happening. Now the goal, each area on this is it slowly gets darker and darker. So you want to make sure when you're doing this that you're blending each different section. So you shouldn't see like the 3 section and the 2 section. It should be a slow transition. And I'm going to see if I delete the red, this will look better. Getting rid of some of the shading. There we go, that's not too bad. I can go back in, clean some things up. Alright, and I'm darkening up my 3 area. Because like I said, you can always go darker and that's easier. To erase takes much longer. Alright, so I'm just blending out, so make sure I've got a transition going from a 3 to a 4. Alright, now you will probably see right here on this side, right there, a line. And when you're doing value drawings, you don't want to see lines. The way you get rid of that line is to shade the background. So what I'm going to do now is just kind of put some value back here, which will make the sphere look like it's standing out. So that's kind of the idea with switching from line drawing to value drawing, is anywhere there's a line, that's sort of the line is a boundary between 2 different values. So wherever you see a line, if the line's there, the way you get rid of it is to shade, make either part on one side darker, one side lighter, and then you'll make it look 3D. And I can bring this value down. Just, you have to make sure it's a darker or lighter value, or it'll just kind of mush together. The other thing that's fun is to make this look even more 3D, you can give a ground. So right now the shadow is cast onto, I don't know, some sort of surface. So I could put a line right here that could be a table. So let me get rid of the shading right here. I want to get rid of that. Woo! That was a lot. So the table is going to be one value, and then I can make the background a different value. I'll make it even more convincingly into a sphere. So at this point, if you've tutorialed with me, you'll have yourself a sphere, and you can take a picture of it, turn it in for